All right, dude, it's so nice to just be able to press a button and you go live immediately,
Yeah, I know.
and there's not too much lag. Oh, that's where that thing went.
There is a little bit, but
I bought a back scratcher for my daughter, and you know what?
it's Dad's now.
It lasted for a whole hour, and she forgot about it, and I just found it, so
And
now it is Dad's.
Now it's Dad's. This podcast is brought to you by the Goosebumps Crew podcast, which big announcement for them a little bit later on in this one. My ringer is on. I did not know that. But
Hello, Haley.
We're talking.
Let's see if I got it right. Oh, God, went away. Yeah, she's probably gonna watch this back and be like, "What a douche." Just kidding.
So I'm trying to figure out when. Okay, potential release date, because there is going to be a Squid Game season 2. Because we're talking Squid Game.
The
series
Squid Game, the challenge.
And the show.
Okay. Dang, I was right. I don't know why I said dang.
Oh well, never mind.
Because you are a loyal friend.
And viewer.
I was trying to sneak in. You can't get past Eric. He has eyes in the back of his
Unless
head.
he's had an edible, then you walk right in.
I have actually had quite a bit today. It was not a good day, so.
Yeah, because you finished Squid Game the challenge.
No, and listen, I gotta throw a little shit towards DoorDash and all you stupid gig apps. Give me some good orders. I didn't make shit today. Anyway, so yes, this podcast tonight is about Squid Game, the challenge on Netflix, and how much we're probably gonna shit on it.
Oh, we're gonna shit on it because
it's okay.
Much like Lady Ballers, concept very good, execution,
Dude, seriously, that's.
Because I gotta say I was intrigued. In fact, the trailers were so good. My girlfriend actually said, "Oh, there's a season 2. We should watch it." And I'm like, "Babe, it's not season 2." And she's like, "No, it's on my Netflix." And I figured, maybe hers is, since it's in Spanish. Maybe it's.
Oh yeah. Haley actually she put me onto Lauren Patton. She's a Broadway singer, and
Oh yeah.
she does some of her own music, and she sent me a few videos. Wow.
So basically, what you're saying is the podcast network is working.
It is working very well, and
Screw it.
I love music, so me and Haley actually had a pretty good conversation about that.
Yeah. So we'll actually get it. We'll just go ahead and do the sponsorship spot because it came up organically.
Sponsorship.
Oh, we didn't do that yet.
I didn't add it.
That's okay.
Shit, that was fucking weird.
So
honestly, if you can handle this alone, I can do that for a few minutes.
It's cool.
No.
We'll have it ready for next time.
I can't actually. So anyway,
we'll have it ready for next time. Yeah, that was such a funny. I was editing that episode to bring it back. I was like, how do I transfer into the sponsor? Oh, I got it. And what I love is that if you don't know what that is, you have zero context, and the audio will be funnier. But so the Goosebumps Crew podcast, who they're killing it.
Oh, I haven't watched any yet. I haven't had time.
Well, their most recent episode, which dropped, I think only two or 3 days ago, they got Tim Jacobus on episode 3 of their podcast. They got Tim Jacobus, the illustrator. Who
is Tim Jacobus for people who don't know who
I was getting to that.
I'm sorry.
I was getting to that.
I apologize.
So Tim Jacobus, he didn't do all the covers, but he did most of the covers for the original run Goosebumps books. So all those really awesome cover art. So he was the illustrator that did at least the bulk of them. I'm pretty sure, and I didn't know that much about it.
That's awesome.
He did the bulk. They got him on episode 3.
Did somebody know him well or something? Nick probably knows him.
Well, I think they've all met him at one point or another, or at least most of them. And so that just goes to show you, which is why I think I told you this in text. I asked RFK Jr. if he would appear on the Arte podcast. Obviously, actually, let's see. I haven't checked that email in a minute.
That would be insane.
You know what? I was going back and forth on whether to even send the email, and I was like, oh shit, I do have an email. Oh no, never mind. It's not.
Obviously, it would probably take place on Zoom.
Yes.
But could you imagine?
Well, and I asked him for a half hour, and I put
half an hour.
Well, and I said, we can go as long as you want because, once again, PBD had him on.
But you also realize he's a busy person.
That's exactly what I said. We can go as long as you want. And I told him, I said, obviously, very small podcast, but you are someone who, and I said it on here, when I first heard about him, thought he was insane, thought he was a crackpot, but I only listened to what the media was saying about him. And then he was on Joe Rogan, and I got to listen to him talk for more than 10 seconds. And I'm like, okay.
I didn't hear him talk at all until I heard some clips, like good clips,
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow, he makes a lot of sense. So I didn't have that negative aspect.
Well,
to him.
what I think I like the most about him is he's very much like me. So on a lot of, and he had the guts to say this to PBD, and it was the same thing I would say probably, where he said, you know what, I don't know enough to make a determination, but I err on the side of giving people freedom.
Right.
So I'm like, that's me.
You know what else is freedom? Music. Just like Haley has agreed with me in the comments. So her love for Lauren Patton, she now gave that to me. So thank you.
So, but anyway, my point, the Goosebumps Crew podcast, I read Goosebumps when I was a kid, but I would never consider myself a hardcore fan. Nothing like Nick.
I never read them.
They're
I never hated them.
They're young adult fiction. It's what they are. But I will say,
Da Vinci.
But I will say their podcast is interesting as hell. I've watched all 3 in their entirety, and I'm like, I saw that come across, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna watch that. And their numbers are really good, which makes sense because they're talking about Goosebumps, and they're all pretty well known in that community because apparently there is a really big Goosebumps fandom community. But yeah, their podcast is awesome. They said on their most recent episode they're a little slower going getting on Spotify, but they're going, so you'll be able to listen to it as well on ratemedia.org. But
within the network.
Within the network. Well, they're in the network, so they're in the.
You're in the network now.
Yeah, they're in the private. They're in the private Discord server. They've got all the tutorials they could ever want. And that's why we're doing an ad spot for them, because you should definitely check out their podcast, especially if you're a Goosebumps or horror fan. But even if not, it's interesting as hell because I'm learning all kinds of crazy stuff that I did not know.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah, it's good. It's quite good. It's quite entertaining. So check them out. Yeah.
Now. Okay.
She's an evil genius.
Evil genius. The new Rayman. So, now back to this show that we watched on Netflix called Squid Game.
I'm gonna come.
Oh, I hit the wrong one.
It worked. Cry? Yes. I am gonna cry. So,
what do we want to... Do we want to give a... Because I have issues with the show itself, which overall I loved.
There's actually some issues as well, too. Some of the contestants are actually... they're talking about lawsuits and whatnot. There's certain reasons why they felt cheated and whatnot.
Okay, so that it's funny you mentioned that because that's one of my problems with the show, the main series, because the main series goes out of its way to say that nobody gets an edge. Basically, everything is fair in the sense that it's random or skill.
Dude, it was rigged. It was so rigged.
It was so rigged. Dude, I called that from a mile away.
Like 5th or 6th episode in, I already said who was going to win, and I called it.
Well, now, to be fair, it wasn't rigged. They edited it in a certain way to point you. So, so here's my problem with the show.
Could you imagine having to go through that and edit?
Oh, God, no. That's why there's more than one.
Billions.
That's why there's more than one editor. And a show like that, yeah, but I hate to break it to everybody, reality TV is some of the fakest shit you'll ever see.
True.
It's not real. It's as someone who worked on one, it's not. You
worked on a reality TV show?
Regional, but yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's still impressive.
But yeah, there is it's all tricks. So there's a scene in the first episode of the one I did where it gets very emotional, and we edit it to look like somebody's injured. Nobody got injured. Nobody even got close to being injured. Nothing. The only spontaneous thing that happened is the guy did actually lose his pants. That actually happened. I was there. I saw it. I had to watch that. And then in episode, I think it was episode 4.
Why does that sound like freaking Tourette's guy? There's one night where he's drunk and he's like, "Where's my pants? Where's my pants?"
Oh no, it's in the sizzle reel that's on my YouTube channel. That scene where the guy loses his pants in an inflatable obstacle course.
Check the clip out, people.
Yeah, the terrible thing, and this is true. This is some fun fact behind the scenes. So in the 4th episode, they take the throuple, because in episode 4 it was a throuple, to a tattoo place where they had the option of getting a free tattoo or piercing. One girl elected to get her nipples pierced, and I instantly walked over to both the videographers walked over to the producer and was like, "We're not going to show this, are we?" It was like, "Yeah." And so then we just kind of looked at each other. It was like, who has to? Because this was not an attractive woman. We'll just put it that way. I lost rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, man.
But you know what? I'm not going to half-ass this. I zoomed the shit in, and...
You know what? Listen, speaking of rock, paper, scissors, that's a good segue back into our main topic. That's essentially how the last game was decided, was rock, paper, scissors. I mean, there was a different aspect to it, but you don't have to watch it. Like, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. But I probably should have put spoiler alert in this. Anyway, so listen, if you've got to this point, we haven't said anything. I know. What?
It's implied.
It's implied, but listen, if you've got to this point, spoiler warning, don't watch a podcast that says exactly what you haven't watched yet. That's not the smartest thing to do. Anyway, so should I? No, I probably shouldn't say that right now.
Let me tell you what my issue is. So in the original series, they make it a point to say it's
the best story.
I've got a lot from that show actually.
He zoomed in on some areolas.
I couldn't do it again.
Got diabetes a long time ago.
Jesus. Oh God. I have so many funny stories I could tell about that show. If it had been anywhere famous, I could have written a tell-all book. But so in Squid Game, they go out of their way to say it's fair, it's fair. The entire thing is rigged in more ways than one. And so my biggest problem, Squid Game is a show that starts out very, very good. And then by the time you get to about the middle, the cracks start to form. And then the last 2 episodes are where it all falls apart. Like, it becomes so contrived and dumb. So overall, I'd give it like a 7 or an 8 when it could have easily been a 10.
Yeah, the story to the end of it was like kind of a little. I mean, yeah, it's like throws you for a loop, but that's like you didn't even have to do that.
But it became rushed and contrived. My biggest problem is the spoiler alert. So in the game with the glass where they jump across the platforms, at the very end, it explodes for some reason. I don't know why. And the winner didn't even get her money.
That might be another one of the lawsuits then. She because like when the winner won, like she opened up the safe and there was a gold card in there and it had numbers on it. Oh my gosh, yeah. So obviously they're not gonna show numbers on Netflix.
Well, so. I just saw a clip of her on Jimmy Fallon and she acknowledged that what she was gonna spend her money on.
Well, she might not have gotten the prize money. You know, sometimes it takes a little bit for them to get the prize money, which makes 0 sense, really, because it's like you had enough to make the show and do this and that. It's like you don't have the prize money? Like,
it's probably an annuity.
Oh, yeah. Yearlies. Screw that. I
want
my money and I want it now.
Well, no, you don't, for tax reasons.
Whitworth. You know, that, and I hate to say, like, $5 million is a little bit of money. Like, it's not a little bit of money. It's a lot of bit of money to especially some people like us. You know, but annuities for like that would make more sense.
Way more. You get way more of your money.
But if you win like $300 million, I'm taking the lump sum. I wouldn't take it.
I bet you could structure it in a way where
you're never guaranteed tomorrow. So
I bet you could structure in a way where you could take like $100 million up front and then, which here's the thing, you could theoretically take the lump sum
from lottery. No.
They give you the
game
option.
show. Yeah, it's either all of it or.
Well, no, you can put your own money into an annuity. You can set one up. Or in fact, you know what you could do? You could just put it all into an index fund, and then it makes you money, and you can take it out. It depends
or
on the fund.
you just live off of what your percentage that you make.
That's how it would set. That's basically how people set up retirement funds, and you can set it up in a way with enough money, you can keep. I forget what the percentages are. I think Dave Ramsey says 8% withdrawal over time, and that gives you enough to where your fund keeps making money, but you can live off of it comfortably, which is insane. It's a $4.5 million she won, and she hasn't seen a dime yet.
That is crazy.
Well, imagine that. TV people lie. So, but anyway, here's my point. So the stage explodes, and a piece of glass impales the North Korean defector, which ends up slowly killing her until she's eventually murdered. If the game were fair and an accidental injury should have theoretically been treated by the doctor that they have on staff.
You're talking about the challenge?
No. I'm talking about the show.
The show. Okay. For some reason, I thought you were talking about challenge. I was like, okay, did I miss that episode? Somebody died?
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit! How did this fucker not get shut down? Oh, sorry, I was channeling my.
So that's only one of many issues I have with the series. Now we have the show, which I don't know where they found these people, but on the casting sheet,
dude,
the first prerequisite must have been you have to be mentally weak to be on this show,
or you have to be a very flamboyant, like actor who portrays everyone knows that they're an actor. Like
it's like you have to. Yeah, that's you're
451.
You're either an actor or you are the single most useless person in your anybody in your circle of friends. It's like, are you the biggest crybaby wimpy bitch in your friend group? Guess what? You can be on Squid Game the challenge. How was that? He had to be an actor. I'll put it this way, because if he wasn't an actor, how could he not be just embarrassed? Like, seriously.
I'll tell you who deserves like actual respect is contestant 278. I think that's her name.
She won, yeah.
Yeah, she won. But the thing is, like, that one game where they wore the blindfolds and put the box on there, dude, she killed it, and everybody was scared of her.
She seemed to be the only one that actually, which again, this is probably due to editing. She seemed to be the only one who actually thought about what she was doing.
She wasn't just doing things randomly. And the thing is, in the end game, they actually had a little recorded excerpt or whatever from her, and from him, 451, and they both were saying what they were thinking at that time. And he was just basically they're throwing rock paper scissors. Basically, what they do the last game was they throw rock paper scissors to see who gets a turn to go to a box full of keys to go to a safe to unlock it. So that's why I said it relied on rock paper scissors and the key. But the thing is, like, it has them sitting there both looking at each other, and the guy 451, he's just like, I mean, I'm not keeping track of what she's throwing. I'm just throwing randomly. And then it cuts to her, and you know what she says? She's like, oh, I'm keeping track of everything he throws. And then she like beat him 6 times.
That's how
in a
you
row.
win at rock paper scissors.
And what happened? She ended up winning the game.
So like, and it's actually not that difficult. It's not, you're not going to be perfect because everybody's different. But like, for example, like if we were to play rock paper scissors right now, and you threw scissors and I threw rock, subconsciously, you're probably not going to throw scissors again. And depending on the type of personality, this is why, like okay, let me think. What's my example? I hit rock and you hit scissors, and I know you're when it comes to playing games, you're usually a little bit more aggressive. So you're probably going to throw rock the next round.
Because it's, and on top of that, it was a male versus a female. And so she was thinking that. And in the game, it even had her, like, thinking. You could hear her thoughts. So obviously, it was recorded. But she was saying that he's a man, so he's going to want to throw rock or scissors. And she literally threw paper.
Here's the craziest thing. If you're doing a round of rock, paper, scissors, this is so freaking crazy, but it's true. Men are 80% more likely to throw rock on their first go. Women are 70 or some odd percent more likely to throw scissors. So it's a toss-up. So basically, if you're playing against a guy, throw paper. And if you're playing against a woman, you're probably okay to throw rock the first round. After that, it depends on...
Let's go. All right, hold on. All right, 1, 2, 3, shoot, or 1, 2,
1, 2, 3, shoot.
All right. Oh,
No, that was...
What the hell?
You did 3.
1, 2, shoot? Or you
No.
do 1, 2,
Rock,
3, shoot?
paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh, okay. All right, sorry, I was on West Coast. All right.
You know how I figured that out?
Because of the first one I threw?
Exactly.
I didn't think he was going to hold that against me since we didn't make it.
Oh, no, because it's a psychology thing. Rock,
Take
paper,
your key,
scissors.
sir.
Rock, paper, scissors is not a game of chance. Rock, paper, scissors is a game of psychology.
And the thing is, I wasn't staring him directly in the eyes.
Oh, and fun fact,
That's how I
if you have somebody trying to throw you for a loop by playing rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock, most people, especially if it's their first time ever playing the game, they're probably going to throw laser.
Laser, and blazer, and taser. And this is Michelle.
Taser face. Yeah. So back to the challenge, because I think that's what we're gonna spend the book. Because honestly, if you haven't seen Squid Game by now, and there's no confirmed release date for season 2, most people are talking about the challenge. I do have one other gripe with the series, but I'm sure we'll get into that. But yeah, the
terrible acting.
Well, that character, and I'll call him a character because I refuse to believe that's a real person.
Ooh.
The crybaby, the
Oh, the guy that was throwing up? No, I mean, dude, like, there's 8 billion people on the planet. There's at least 1 or 2 of those people.
Yes, but not that would volunteer for that kind of game show.
I'm gonna throw up. I was like, really?
That's honestly, that's the moment where my first reaction to that character was like, God, what a bitch. And then
First
after
world problems.
But then after he did the like throw up thing, I'm like, oh, they're actors.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was like. These aren't real people.
No, they're not.
I'm not
real
trying
people.
to be mean towards actors or anything like
no,
that.
but why?
I'm just
But
like,
here's the
they're
thing:
not real people.
in a show like this, why would you get real people? You can't direct
they're
them.
not going to be exactly. They're not going to be entertaining, and like you said, you can't direct them. So I mean, I get it, but at the same time, I could tell so much that it kind of annoyed me. 451 was way too freaking like flagrant. I don't know, like well, he annoyed the shit out of me.
Well, most of the cast was, so they probably got him from L.A.
Dude, 278 though. She was pretty stoic. She was just like straight stoic the entire freaking game. She's just like standing there like a damn statue.
Well, the other thing too is they're probably actors. Like I made the joke, is like they probably got him from L.A. But it's like get some boys from the Midwest in there and be like, we're gonna fuck y'all up.
Yeah, like the whole being nice thing and doing this and that. It's like and teaming up, and it's like nah, I don't need anybody.
Well, so that challenge ended up being way too democratic for my liking. It's like, no, we're playing to win here. Like, not to be an asshole, but... And then, like, so, I forget the girl's name, but when they were on the glass game, right? And they came up with this idea, it's like, listen, everybody should only have to jump once. No! Screw you! But here's the thing, the other thing that happened in the show a lot was they like, yeah, we all agree, and then every time that happened, somebody was like, I didn't agree.
I'll be honest, I think Mr. Beast did a better single episode about Squid Game than this entire series.
Oh, the concept was so there, and this is one of the things the show did right. Because I thought to myself, and it was like, oh, it's a game show. I was like, okay, well, you can start out with red light, green light, because that's a game that you can't really anticipate. Like, you know the rules, but you have to know the rules to play. So that makes perfect sense. And it's a good way to weed out a bunch of people. So I think every time, I hope there are multiple seasons of this show, but I just hope they fix some of the issues. I think everyone should absolutely start out with red light, green light, because it's iconic. It's the Squid Game thing. I also thought I liked the idea of people being eliminated with paintballs, but some of them actually being like,
and they just fall to the ground like you're playing GTA 4 and it's just like wasted.
I was just like, okay, that's a bit.
It was goofy.
That's a bit much. Yeah.
Very fun show though. Very fun.
Well,
very fun.
So let me get back. But then there's other games where it's like, okay, you see this coming, and at every turn the show did sort of impress me, because the next game I believe was the cookie one where you have to cut out the shapes. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, okay, how are they going to make this interesting? Because everybody's going to try to pick circle.
Why did they do it like that? That was so dumb.
No, it wasn't. Because in the original Squid Game, people picked a shape, but they didn't know what it was for. For the game show, everybody knows what this game is. So nobody's going to pick umbrella. Everybody's going to pick circle. So I actually so for those who don't know how they did it, is they had everybody go up into 4 lines, and they're all talking. It's like, yeah, I'm getting circle. And then they take the first person in each of the 4 lines, and they bring them into the room and say, okay, you have to pick a shape for your line, but here's the catch. You all have to agree on who goes where, or all 4 of you get eliminated, and then we take the next 4. And that happened a couple of times.
That would have been better.
Well, that's what they did.
Okay. No, okay, never mind.
You must have missed that part.
Yeah, no. What I was thinking was what they should have done, instead of everybody having the same one, I don't know, they could have just picked and choose.
Well, I know, but this way it made it interesting though, because the point of doing it that way is it's going to get some animosity towards whoever picks the harder shapes.
Yeah.
But that person doesn't have a choice, because they either get eliminated now,
exactly,
or try their luck with the shape.
And you're going to eliminate a bunch of people who can't do it. So.
Right. But that's what I'm saying is, to make that game interesting, some people have to pick the harder shapes.
Dude, how come no one spit on the cookies?
Some of them did. Some of them were licking.
They were licking them, but I'm just like, listen, like, you can only lick so much. I'm like, work up a bunch of spit and let it sit. Like, what they have, 10 minutes?
I think it was more than that.
Or
it might have been 10.
Okay, if it was 10 minutes, I was like, spit on the... Yeah, exactly, Haley. Mr. Beast did do it better. Spit on the cookies and then let it sit. And then didn't they have something to...
Yeah, they have a needle.
I was like, listen, all they had to do was like get that spit in the creases and let it sit for at least 1 minute, and it would soak them, and boom, boom. I could do it in 2 minutes, and I think we should get some cookies. And
dude, I thought one of these days when we get our championship belt back, we're so doing
It'll be gross. Game. I'm not saying it won't be gross.
Oh, no, we're so doing Squid Game. But then the next thing that impressed me, I was like, okay, well, are they just going to go through all the games? Because not gonna lie. Then the next game was a complete threw everybody for a loop, because it was new.
Yeah, there was a bunch of new games.
Yeah, I know. Human Battleship. I was like, oh, this is great.
That was actually pretty cool.
That looks fun as hell.
Well, Haley, you're at the movies.
What are you seeing?
Sweet. Love you too. What are you seeing? And I hope it's a good one. And have a good one.
Better be Godzilla -1, damn it.
Probably not.
It's probably not.
Well, knocking.
The couches. So yeah, dude, the Battleship game, that was awesome, and that was fun, and I love the concept where Waitress the musical.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's acceptable.
Bring in your food to the table. Here's your drink, sir. Do you need any more napkins? You do. Here's your salt and pepper as well that you requested from me. I'm not making fun of you.
Why does that sound like a System of a Down song?
Sugar!
So, and I love the concept of, if your battleship, even if your team wins, if your battleship gets sunk, you're eliminated.
Yeah. Yeah, that
not that kind of musical. Oh, so maybe it's more somber. It's like, we're out of pie.
That was fucking weird.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, and then what were some of the other new games? The blindfold game was very interesting. I liked that a lot. Oh, and then they also did those challenges throughout the thing. They'd like take a player or 2 players, and they'd be like, accomplish this task, and then you get a prize, and that prize could be maybe eliminate somebody or get everybody a treat. And then they did the phone bit, which that moron who answered the phone twice, did you really think it was going to be good 2 times in a row?
Dipshit, no.
Fucking idiot. Well, and the funny thing is, if somebody else had answered the phone, it probably would have been another treat, but like the minute that, I was like, I called that, which it was obvious, which is why it was obviously an actor, because I don't think anyone's that stupid.
You sure
That
about
burger did look good though.
Oh yeah, dude. There's 8 billion people on the planet once again.
That's true. There's some.
I keep trying to reiterate that to people. They're like, "How could somebody do that?" I'm like, "There's 8 billion people on the planet. I'm pretty certain that."
But these are all people from a Western country that theoretically have had access to basic education.
Dude, we are not that hard to. What's the word I'm looking for? We're so predictable as a country.
Yeah, that's
our people are. I'm sorry, but like, if a new, I don't want to get too political or anything like that, but if a new war pops up, you're gonna have people in our country for both one side and one for one side.
Well,
and
yeah, that's true.
I mean, I get it, but at the
we
same
saw
time,
that.
Like, it's like why it's not in your country. You're not gonna do anything about it. Why do you care?
Because they're told to care by the talking face on the television.
And it's not that people don't care. But anyway.
Well, I mean, if you might have a reason to care, but most people don't have a reason to care.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm not talking about the small amount of people, but I don't really.
So what were some of the other games though? Because we talked about the blindfold game, which I thought was probably one of the most intense. Although that's, again, if you pause for 1 second and really think about it, it's not that hard to guess.
A lot of it was just unmemorable to me because, like,
it was
hard to keep my attention.
I think these should have been half-hour episodes.
They were way too long.
They were way too long.
I was like, I enjoyed most of them, but like, I would just get bored, and then what do I find myself doing?
Scrolling on the old telephone. I was playing this new block game that I downloaded. It was more interesting, largely.
I was watching Squid Game on my computer while scrolling Instagram on my phone for the like parts that were like super boring. Like, there was a bunch of dialogue back and forth, and I was like, these aren't characters in a show. I don't care about their backstories. I don't care about that. I want to see who wins, who's the best. I don't care about backstories on a game show. Like,
yeah, I don't care.
They're trying to make it out to be a
drama. Well, and not only that, guys, anyone who gets an interview segment is gonna be integral to the show. Spoiler alert. So all these people,
like you said, though, they have to edit it that way because that's the people that made it.
Yeah, but
imagine how many other people they probably did.
Well,
not a whole lot.
I don't know about that, because that's what, 456 players.
Yeah, 456. I'm telling you, I think it was rigged. I
think it was rigged.
I honestly think 278 was going to win from the beginning. I literally called it in the first episode.
I think they at least had it limited to about, maybe they had it limited down to 20. You know, there might have been some element of chance to that game, but I'm kind of with you. I think the whole thing was rigged. I think these were actors. Because some of these people were cartoon characters. Like, I forget his number, but the guy who was like, okay, and I'm gonna go on a bit of a tangent here, but it's something I've seen a lot of this in the past couple of days, and it's so fucking annoying. The guy who was like, God put me here. God put me here. You know, I'm a college out, and somebody's asking me, he's like, yeah, I dropped out of college. I had 2 weeks left, and I dropped out of college to be here. I'm like, well, you ain't that fucking smart, dipshit. But
how do you have 2 weeks left? Like,
you don't drop. You skipped class, dumbass. Like,
yeah, like, go finish your classes. I'm fairly certain they'll let you do it.
Well, no, but even if they won't, like, why would you drop out of college when you had 2 weeks left to come do a fucking game show?
Potentially try to win $5.6 million.
Because it wasn't real, but. Like, that's probably just some struggling actor who's like, yeah, I figured I'd write that into my backstory.
That's probably it. That is probably it. He's a failed actor.
You probably have actors in there just being like, I'm gonna make a compelling backstory. Maybe the producers will change their mind about who's gonna win.
We're talking about failed actors.
Well, not even failed, probably starting up actors. But
yeah, that's true.
So this is the annoying thing. So he's like, these people, it's like the biggest, it's a religious humble brag. Because the whole time he's like, I just believe God put me here for excellence. Like, it's not me that won that game. It was God. It was fated. And then, so Andrew Tate just did a podcast with George something or other, the guy who got kicked off of Impulsive. I don't know, the guy with the beard and who's always talking about Jesus, which there's nothing wrong with talking about Jesus, unless you do it like this. But he was just in there, and it's like all these fucking guys that are rich and have everything they want, and they're just like, it's all about God. It's like, it's all about God. I didn't do this. God did this. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Like, give yourself some credit too.
Well, it's not about giving yourself credit. It's like, yeah, you said, oh yeah, if you trust in God, anything can happen. It's like, yeah, real easy to say that after you've made millions. It's like, I know a poor man who still trusts in God.
Because faith has nothing to do with that, right?
Yeah, but it's the most obnoxious humble brag.
I think they're just trying to say things that are like.
No, they're trying to say things that make them look good, and it's obnoxious.
What I'm saying. They're trying to. It's vain. It's very vain.
But it's funny though. Yeah, that's the good way to put it. Because I've met people who
doesn't sound like that, but you can feel the delivery.
Feel it. Yeah. Because I have met people who are successful, and when they say it, I'm like.
Yeah, you agree. You're like, okay, I definitely feel it from you.
Yeah, but these are usually people that give away a lot of money on the DL, and like you wouldn't know about it unless like you found out because they didn't tell you. It's not one of these people who's like, I give millions to charity, and these are people that are like,
or advertisers.
Yeah.
Like Elon Musk. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Is that clear?
Well, and here's the other thing. Like, you can find this information if you look for it, but. Has Elon Musk ever, I'm sure he has at some point, maybe he's been asked a question, but my point is he doesn't bring it up often, is how much money does Elon Musk give to charity?
I don't think it's, I mean, to be honest with you, I've never heard anything, but I would honestly think it probably wouldn't be disclosed, but I can guarantee he gives a shit ton.
That's what I'm getting at.
And I can guarantee he gives a whole lot more than George Soros and all them, people.
Yeah. Well, here's another, and this is kind of unfair because it is.
Since he lives a minimal lifestyle anyway. He lives in one of those little tiny poop homes. They're not poop homes. They're actually kind of nice. The little box homes. What are they called? Pod homes.
Pod homes, yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, so that obnoxious character, I was happy when he got eliminated. Like a bitch. His boat got sunk. And he and that other dork are just fucking holding each other while it's happening.
I don't remember that.
They're both in the boat and they're just fucking holding each other, and I'm like,
one of the other actors contestants. Yeah, we're gonna call them contestants.
You mean the
other
actors?
Contestants that was eliminated actually pretty early on. I can't remember his number, but like a lot of people didn't like him, and I was like, is it because he's black? And I was joking.
Was it the other god, Jesus
he
freak?
Had an ego.
The other Jesus freak.
Was that him?
The one who was always like,
he had an ego.
You don't trust me to lead you?
I mean, he was doing good. I can't say. I mean, he was kind of an asshole, but he was doing good.
But that's true. He was doing good, but he was also obnoxious as shit.
I know, but honestly, like, I thought he was gonna get eliminated a couple times before, and I was like, oh shit, it's gonna happen, and the other person got eliminated. I was just like, what the fudge? And I don't think it was that. Was it the box game? I don't think it was the box game.
The box game
where they were in a circle. I don't think he made it that far. Where they were all the blindfolded game. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm being
the
stupid.
Box game. Yeah,
the blindfold game. But that game was like really cool.
That was interesting, and I kind of like the concept of the dice game, but the actors ruined it. When they're like, I'm only gonna nominate myself. Like, no, fucking nominate somebody else. Let's make this competitive. Where they had the rope, and if they roll a 6, whoever they nominated gets eliminated. But everybody was like, I'm going to nominate myself, except Mai, who was like, I'm going to nominate this bitch. Well, who deserved to get eliminated, because what I was going to earlier on the glass jumping game, everybody agreed, I guess, that, well, everybody's only going to have to take a chance once. It's like, no, there's way more than 12 of you. But then she gets up there. It becomes her turn to jump up to the next level, and then the mama's boy fucking
that guy?
I don't remember any chimpanzees being in this show.
That was just ours. That was actually pretty decent.
I know that was
I can't do it now. It was a one-time thing.
Oh, speaking of wild tangent, did you see the new trailer for the new Planet of the Apes movie?
Is Mark Wahlberg in it?
No.
I love that movie.
No, not that one. The newer ones.
Oh.
No!
Oh,
Yeah.
Caesar.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Except Caesar's not in this one, but
I wonder if James Franco's going to be in it. Probably not,
No.
considering he's been blacklisted.
well, that's a whole other topic. But
Seth Rogen, self-hating Jew.
actually, it would have been funny if those guys were in Squid Game.
Oh my gosh! But no, seriously, like, listen.
Celebrity Squid Game.
Hold on. No, fuck that. I've got an even better idea. A real Squid Game that is televised to the entire world. Take me up on this, world.
Can't do it.
All the people who were involved with Epstein Island, put them in the fucking Squid Games, real Squid Games, and the winner gets to walk free.
It couldn't be done in America.
No, but that's why I said let's get it done, world. I know it could happen.
You can't.
I've seen some crazy shit on the internet, just like James Franco said, and he's like, "Yeah, we can look up some crazy shit on the internet." Pineapple Express.
But yeah. So when you're doing that glass game, I forget her name, but she gets up there and she's like, "No, I'm not jumping. He's in front of me. You jump." And she refused to do it, and then she ends up making it because then
those are the type of people I'm pushing.
Well, but Mama's boy gets eliminated, and then she's in front because she was behind him, right? So then she makes her one jump and she stays in, and then she's like, somebody else needs to come up here. Who in their right mind cuts in front of her after that? It's one thing if you all agree to do something and then it's just your turn.
You're first now.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you're first now, honey. And then we can continue the rules. But
better pick well.
yeah, exactly. But the other thing I didn't like about that game, because at least in the show, if you have an eye, you can actually see the difference between like tempered glass and non-tempered glass. Most people don't know how, but in the show at least, which I understand why they couldn't do it this way unless they can't have glass breaking. I get
So
that.
it was plastic?
These were trap doors. So, but it's pure luck at that point.
Hold on. They could have had glass. They could have used sugar glass. Like in the movies. As soon as they step on it,
you know what?
It's probably dangerous.
That was going to say, yeah. I
I
think that was going to be too dangerous because that stuff, I mean, it shatters.
So wait a minute. There was no way to
There's no way you can tell.
See, that's not really fair to the Squid Game.
That's what I'm saying.
Original. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Because, yeah, you had the guy who could tell. And it is. And actually, it's so funny because when I was watching Squid Game, I was like, well, you can tell the difference that's
what I was thinking.
If there's a light shining in a certain way, especially, like, you can see the difference. You might have to kind of get close, but they never said it was against the rules. Like, fuck, I can tell the difference. And then, sure enough, that guy was like, I can tell the difference. I'm like, oh, put him up front.
The way I see it, though, like, if they put enough weight on it, it breaks, right? That's what happened in the first one. It wasn't just random. Like, I'm not talking about the game. I'm talking about the series.
Yeah.
So, like, the glass was either tempered glass or
regular
glass. So the thing is, did they say it was against the rules to smack it?
I think they did, and well, you know what? I'm not sure.
Bro, I would have been like, kabah! Because I'm sorry, I know I can break glass.
Not tempered glass.
Not tempered glass. So
you'll
it's
find,
like, you'll
find out real quick.
If your hand hurts, guess what? You can stand on it. That's what I would do. I'd take a shoe and just like, bam!
Basically, yeah. I don't know why they did. Which that's another thing. There was a severe lack of creativity in the challenge. Because it would not, it's not, there was way too much kumbaya bullshit. And then people being surprised when somebody double crosses them. It's like, especially the dice game. You saw this coming, and then the two morons that got eliminated because they couldn't agree on what game to play. The
blindfold game was another one.
Well,
like, so
yeah.
I was like, yeah, they're going for you because you thought they were your friend. But then that guy, 451, I believe who it was, called him out. And it's like, listen, I know, blah, 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 but I know it's you. And he got
and this is what gets annoying. Anytime there's a competition show like this, people act like they forget it's a competition. I'm sorry, it's $4.5 million. Now, see, smart people, like if you or I had been on that show, it would have been like day one, and like, hey, man, we're going to help each other out, but whoever wins, we'll split that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That wouldn't even been on camera. I'd be like,
yeah, we would have discussed that well in advance because if the only consequence is getting eliminated and not dying, the entire dynamic of the show changes, which is why there was so much democracy, which that's the other bullshit I have with Squid Game, the series, is they go out of their way to be like, it's all fair, except they neglect to mention that when you lose at one of these games, you fucking die. And then that's a giant surprise for everyone.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry, but if someone's kidnapping you, well, like, when they initially got there, was there a way for them to leave? I can't remember. Wasn't there an initial back out?
They didn't tell them that until after red light, green light. I don't think so. Because they said after that, at any point during the game, you can all vote to leave or quit, or to quit playing or continue. But
everybody has to vote to do that.
No, it doesn't have to be unanimous. It just has to be majority.
Oh.
Because the old man was the tiebreaker, which, spoiler alert, the old man. That's the other thing. So again, the games are fair, right?
Dude, the old man was 278, but she ended up winning.
Well, no, in the show he was 001.
Yeah, and also the father.
The father?
Yeah.
What?
He was the father to the winner.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, because essentially the old man died, right?
Yeah.
But then at the end of the show, he was in the bed.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fairly certain that was old boy's dad. Like, not like he knew it was his dad or related somehow.
I don't think so. I don't know. I'd have to go back. It's been a minute.
Yeah, I'm probably.
But here's my problem though. So the entire that entire game is rigged because the old man knows what's up. And you notice he loses his game, but he doesn't get shot in the head.
Didn't know he died.
No, well, yeah, but not because he lost the game.
But he like died of like natural causes.
His brain tumor, yeah. But my point is, he loses the dice game and doesn't get immediately killed, even though he should per the rules of the game. And what exactly was going to happen if he moved during red light, green light? Was he just going to get a pass? Because they weren't going to kill him.
Dude, he was walking so slow too.
Well, that's the strategy of that game. Honestly, power walk. That's your strategy.
Well, and on top of that, it's like, dude, when they turn around and like, as soon as you like, if your eyes aren't fixated on that alone, and then stop, as soon as you see it, just barely, it's like immediately stop.
Yeah, it's not a difficult game. Now, it becomes difficult when there's a risk of being shot, and you know that.
You've got 1 to 2 seconds of sprinting.
You don't
1,000, boom, stop.
You don't sprint till you're to the end.
Oh yeah, and there's
yeah.
I would dive over that fucking line.
Well, a lot of people do.
You ain't killing me. I mean, obviously not on the challenge.
Yeah. But again, how do you lose that game?
And there was some people that lost the game in the challenge, and I'm like, dude, you definitely do not appear unathletic.
Yeah,
how
you don't.
How did you lose?
Right. I mean,
and honestly, those were probably the actors who were putting so much flair on it. They're just like,
yeah, the ones I do notice there were a lot of like dramatic death moments.
Oh my gosh, they're going for their little 15 seconds of fame. We're not even
they're going to put that.
Minutes.
They're going to put that in their reels. And then here's the other reason. They're okay. Maybe they're not all actors, but they're all actors or influencers, because on the Jimmy Fallon clip that I watched, they had and then the two other players. The one dude that had the righteous beard. So he's now coming out with a line of gender-inclusive beard care products. But here's the thing, and this is why I'm eye-rolling at that. That's not something you just do overnight. That was in the works for a while.
Is it an actual him?
Yeah.
Okay.
But here's my point. That's in the works for a while. That kind of a product doesn't just appear.
No.
You don't just get that idea and then a couple months later, which, to be fair, they may have shot this a year ago. And the one guy just has a band, and he just so happens to have a single coming out on the night that he's going to appear on Jimmy Fallon that he can plug.
Damn, dude, these people really like that. That's why like media and shows are so weird.
It's fucking fake
because like they already have like interviews lined up when it just came out, and it's like, how did you know it was going to be popular?
Well,
just because it was Squid Game.
That's a valid point. Probably. I mean, that's a pretty sure bet.
I mean, for sure, but like you're not gonna know who's going to be. I mean, obviously the show just came out, so then you've already got people on. That's so bizarre.
Well, but like I said, they probably shot it a year ago.
I know, and Jimmy Fallon, all them, they've already got all the insides and whatnot, and they understand, and that's so lame.
Oh, Jimmy Fallon.
I hate fake TV.
Well,
I like Jimmy Fallon.
He's lame as fuck. Although
I prefer him over the other guys. He's actually somewhat real.
Did you ever want? No, he's not. He's fake as fuck.
No, I don't mean that. I mean like he's not like Jimmy Kimmel who pretends like he's
that's
a man.
True. Okay. Jimmy Fallon.
For so many years, really confused us, made us think that he was a man, and then came out he's a little fucking boy child.
Okay, so Jimmy Fallon is at least consistent. I'll give you that. Jimmy Fallon has been Jimmy Fallon for pretty much his entire career.
We understand he can't be a Craig Ferguson.
I was gonna ask if you watched any of that.
A little bit.
Dude.
Craig Ferguson actually put on a lot of different bands that you wouldn't think that a lot of people. He had Deftones on there.
Yep.
He had Boxcar Racer, which was one of Tom DeLonge's bands. He's had several like music inspirations of my own on there, and I'm just like, wow.
Well, it's because he's a musician.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, you know.
Was? How old is he? Is he alive?
Yeah, he's alive. Okay. Well, you know he plays the mouth organ.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Oh my God, that's my favorite. One of my favorite moments of his is when he had Chris Pine on. He gives guests options as to things they can do to close out their segment. One is a harmonica duet or an awkward pause, or there's a few others. And he's got Chris Pine on, and he's like, do you blow the mouth organ? And he's like, do you blow the mouth organ? And then he just, not missing a beat, how do you think I got this job? That's what I love about Craig Ferguson. The dude could improv like that, and he was just, everything was a constant innuendo, but it never got trashy. It was always, and anytime it started to verge on that, he'd be like, this is a respectable show. You know?
Apparently, I need to watch some old Craig Ferguson.
He is the only late night host that I watched because of the host. I'd only ever tune in if they were going to have a guest on that I gave a shit about. I would watch the Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson for Craig Ferguson. And see, this is where late night TV works, because you watch for the host and then they plug shit on there and you're like, oh, I might be into this. I found out about the movie Machine Gun Preacher because I was watching Craig Ferguson. He had Jerry Butler on, and then they're talking about the movie. I'm like, oh shit, I might want to check this out. That's what late night TV was supposed to do. But now the hosts are so bland and ugh. Like, people watch Johnny Carson for Johnny Carson. People watch David Letterman for David Letterman. Some people watch The Tonight Show for Jay Leno, but
when Bill Maher takes his meds, I like to watch him.
That's fair. That's fair.
Because there's sometimes you're just like, what are you going on about? And then there's sometimes like, you're making a lot of sense. Why can't you do this all the time?
That's very much my relationship.
It has
with
nothing
Bill
to do with being conservative. It has everything to do with what's right.
And actually, that's something he would say when he takes his meds. But what I loved about plus Craig Ferguson was like unapologetically American. He was like, I'm an American now. He's like, this is my country now. He's like, I'm from Scotland, but my heart's here. You know.
Love Scotland.
Well, yeah. I mean, as he would put it, it's like, what was I going to do in Scotland other than drink? He said it, not me. He said it.
Hey, not all of us have a drink.
Actually, he has a really cool tattoo. He's got the live free or die snake on his forearm.
Damn, he is American.
Oh no, he did a show on the History Channel. Which was it?
How do you think? Oh man, go ahead with your.
I'm trying to remember what the show. I think it was Live Free or Die or something like that. I can't remember. But it was.
He's a massive patriot.
Massive, loves America.
Where is he now?
They didn't renew his contract for the Late Late Show. I'm not sure what he's doing now. Craig,
come back.
Podcast, bro. Podcast. Come back.
The thing is, a lot of people listen to you and looked up to you.
More people. Like I said, I didn't watch late night TV before or since, but when he was on, I was like, oh, I gotta watch the Late Late Show.
The Late Late Show.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, and then the whole thing with Jeff and like this shit that they came up with. Jeff, the gay, flirty skeleton robot. like I said, like you picture that, and yet somehow it works. And Secretariat, which was just two dudes in a fucking horse costume. But some of that shit was the funniest. Like, there's one point he's cracking everybody up, and he was like, I can hear them laughing at the horse.
Dude, there's no way that we could do that without dying laughing underneath the costume.
But, dude, he did too all the time, but it was okay because so was everybody else.
Man, like, listen, people. We just need a little help.
Dude, imagine.
And if we have a little bit of money, that's literally just coming from YouTube, not from you, because we appreciate you regardless, but it's free, unless you pay for YouTube, which, but anyway, we need that watch time up.
We need that watch time up.
Because we could be making at least a little bit, and that money could literally go towards better videos.
And that's what we want to do.
Watch us just sitting here. We could be doing funny videos like that.
Oh, dude, we could literally have a setup similar to what Craig and Jeff had. They have like a desk with a podium.
Oh.
And yeah, it's like, and then Secretariat had the stable off to the side.
Oh, dude, I will build a freaking set.
Oh, dude, it wouldn't.
If I have money for it.
If we had money for the material, it'd be nothing, dude.
Man.
And do lights.
We can save a lot of money because I can somewhat build.
Oh, dude, and lights, and we can make our own fucking epoxy tabletop.
He knows how to do epoxy. This shit is awesome.
I never said I was good at it, but like I know what the process is.
Watching those videos where the people put shit down in and then they epoxy.
Isn't that cool as shit?
Man, it looks so good, and I'm just like, that is so tedious. Because honestly, it's not like a simple thing to do, is it? Or is it kind of like a set it and forget it?
It's a set it and forget it for the most part.
Never mind.
I mean, unless you want to do more, because like the ones where they do like seascapes where they have to blow the white epoxy to make it look like waves, but
blow the white epoxy.
Do you blow the mouth organ?
So that sounds like a weekend.
Well, and what I love though, because he has celebrities on there all the time, and actually the women usually take to it like a duck to water, but a lot of times people who come on their first time aren't quite used to being that like that free on a talk show. And you can tell that's why he has tons of people who come back, and they're like, I can't count how many times he's had guests be like, I do the talk show circuit, but then I see that I'm doing your show, and I'm like, oh, yeah, exactly. And that's why people love that show, because it was just fun. And a lot of times he'd be like, oh, I suppose we should talk about the movie,
It's kind of like us now.
And he'd give
talk about Squid Game,
and then he'd give shit to CBS, and he'd be like, "Well, it's CBS, nobody's watching," Or what did he say one time? She's like, "I don't know if I can get that risque," and he's like, "It's CBS after midnight, nobody's watching this shit."
Even though millions of people were.
Yeah, exactly. But
well, it's just because it was Craig Ferguson.
Yeah. But I mean, talk about just like the quintessential American success story. Some fucking Scottish comedian.
He was in TV, right?
He'd done a couple things, but he was mostly comedian. That was his main
I feel like I saw
gig.
him in something besides that, and I remembered it. I remembered him from that rather than the TV the late
he's
show.
Done stuff. He was on the Drew Carey show.
Thank you. I couldn't remember where I remember seeing him from.
Yeah, he was his boss. He didn't
have an accent, right?
No, he had one.
Did he have an accent?
I think he toned it down a smidge for the show, but yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I remember him being in something. I was like, where?
Yeah, he was Drew Carey's boss.
Yo, I watched Drew Carey all the time.
Dude, Drew Carey was such a great show. I loved the Drew Carey show. Carey, what man? That's such a shame that he kind of fell off.
I mean,
the face of the earth.
Price is Right.
Oh, he is doing The Price is Right, isn't it? Never mind. I take that back.
He's so boring as it too. Like Bob Barker was just the perfect amount of boring for it.
Well, but we never saw Bob Barker make sex jokes, so it's.
Did he?
Drew Carey? Oh yeah, on the Drew Carey show and stuff like that.
Oh come on, man! You gotta be classy there, Drew.
Well, I mean, it was my favorite line from the Drew Carey show is violence never solved anything. He's like, yeah, what about World War I, World War II, Star Wars? Violence solves everything.
It really does.
Yeah, it usually does. I know. I'm excited for season 2 where we get to see SJW Gi-un take down the Squid Game factory because he dyes his hair pink for some reason. It is South Korea, though.
They've got some ridiculously good shows, though.
They really do.
Something About Hell was decent.
I didn't watch it.
I can't remember what it's called. I mean, it was something about hell. Basically, these monsters came up from hell, and if they like tracked you down, like if like you were like going to hell, they tracked people down and killed them. And
Oh, wild.
yeah, it was wild. But anyway, that, and then something about an ocean, an endless ocean. I don't know. I can't remember what it was, but it was a cool show. It was the South Korean shows, right? And honestly, like some of those shows, like even though they're
No, dude, there's
insanely good.
There's some really underrated.
Squid Game was a hit. Oh.
Squid Game was a hit. There's one of my favorite movies of all time was a South Korean movie.
The Silent Sea. The Silent Sea was the South Korean show. Anyway.
There's a
just came out of nowhere.
There's a Korean World War II movie it's quite very good. It's called, the English title is called My Way. I don't know what it is in Korean because I don't speak Korean, but it's
Their Way.
Kim's Way. No.
Safeway. Midway Entertainment.
No, that's Japan.
Shit. That makes so much more sense.
What?
Japan.
Oh, fuck. I didn't even... Actually, I think Midway was an American company, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. It was.
So funny.
I didn't even think about that. But so anyway, the premise... It's actually based... Okay. So it's based on an unsubstantiated story. When the Allies invaded on D-Day at Normandy, there were... there was a battalion of the German army called the Ost Battalion, which means East Battalion, that was made up mostly of POWs from like Poland, Russia, places that were basically subjugated by the Nazis. But there were a couple of Koreans in there too, because through happenstance, a lot of these guys got conscripted into the Japanese army, and then they got captured by the Russians, and then they would be, which is what happened to this guy, allegedly, or so he says. His account was he got forced conscripted in the Japanese army when he was living in Korea. Then he got captured in a battle by the Russian army. And then the Russians made him fight the Germans, where he then got captured by the German army. And then he fought at Normandy on D-Day, got captured by the Allies, and somebody somewhere was like, what the fuck is this Japanese guy doing here? And then somehow, some way, they finally figured out he wasn't Japanese, and then he was able to tell his story somehow. And then, which actually, there probably was somebody from...
This is real?
So allegedly, like this person exists now. Whether or not, and the problem is
whether or not the story is real,
because it can't be substantiated because there were virtually no records to corroborate what he was saying.
I'm just saying though, and you people are fighting over frickin' genders. Come on, what the fuck?
It's like this poor bastard.
Oh my god, like you're forced to fight. I'm so tired of picking sides. Just let me stay on one, please. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That would be horrible.
So allegedly, that's what happened. But the movie is based on his story, and it's very, very good.
What's this movie called?
It's called My Way.
My Way.
If you
already said that, I made fun of it.
Yeah, you can find it. It's very good. I do recommend you watch the original. It's one of these movies that I nerd out on because how many languages are in this movie? There's Korean, there's Japanese, Russian, a little bit of Chinese, German, and a tiny bit. So there's basically six languages all throughout this movie. So if you watch the dub, it's not actually, for a dub, it's pretty good, because I showed it to some other people and they were like, "Ew, subtitles." I'm like, fine, you can watch the dub.
I don't mind subtitles.
I don't either, but I love when you're a language nerd.
Japanese anime broke my
same here. Yeah,
because I finally started watching Super with subtitles, and then I was like, I'm gonna go back and watch Dragon Ball Z.
Did you watch Squid Game with subtitles?
No. Is it vastly different?
I don't know. I didn't watch the dub, but I've had some people tell me, which again, I don't speak Korean.
The actual show.
The actual show.
Yeah, duh, because this one was American. English, American. Geez, listen to me sound like a big old fat American.
Well, let's be real. I'm
a big fat American.
It's our language now.
Take it back, UK.
There's no U in color, damn it.
How about that T? We tax ourselves even more now. You should be proud.
To be fair, we don't tax ourselves as much as they do. Or those Canadians.
Them Canadians. I said that shit so many times. I could not say Canadian. I almost just messed it up again. I would say Canadian, and that's called brain autism.
Hey, what do you call a pessimistic Canadian?
An American?
A Cantadian. Wah, wah, wah.
Where is it? I don't have it. I got rid of it.
My name is Jeff.
I think I got rid of it. Okay. Anyway, so yes.
So Squid Game, the challenge.
Entertaining.
Again, like I said, I love the concept.
Overinflated.
Shorten the episode length and just make it a straight competition. We don't need the fucking interview segments. We don't need the bullshit.
Because we're not like I mean, obviously this first season's over, so I'm assuming you're gonna have a set of fresh people. We don't need to know their backstories. We don't need to know like interpersonal relationships. It's not a movie. It's not a TV series where we actually have to know these things. They're games.
Like, even if you want to do interview segments, that's fine. But, like, I don't need to know where you came from.
Or Netflix. I got an idea for you. For the second season, get Mr. Beast involved.
You don't even have to pay him, I'm sure.
I'm fairly certain the dude would find funding somehow. He does $1 million videos all the time, and he doesn't pay for a penny of them for most of them. Some of them he does.
Well, and then here's another weird question. I still don't quite understand how the Squid Game actually works.
What do you mean? The in the show or like?
Yeah, like the squid, what the show's named after, the Squid Game. I still don't quite get it.
I think it was some type of game that they played when they were younger.
Yeah, but
and
I don't.
Red light, green light was one of them.
No. The actual Squid Game, the one from the end of the show.
I can't remember it.
It's called Squid Game. Like that's what the game is called.
What did the last game? I can't remember.
I can't explain it because it doesn't make any sense to me.
Wasn't it something like extremely stupid?
Yes, it's very, very complex and contrived and weird, and I don't understand how the game is played because they've explained the rules like 4 times in the show, and I'm like, I still don't get it.
Let me see.
You know what would be a kick-ass game? Actually, you know what? We should do this. Did you ever play Foursquare when you were a kid?
I had no idea.
Oh, dude, Foursquare's the shit.
So it was a multiplayer game, split into 2. Why did it do this to me? Come on now. So like this?
Yeah. But like I said, I still don't understand how the game works.
I'm fairly certain I understood it when I watched it, but I wanted to watch it again, and I started the first episode, and then like I shut it off for some reason. I had to do something, and I forgot about it. I need to rewatch the series because it's really good. I was trying to get my wife to watch it, but she hates not subtitles, but she hates
Koreans.
Not that Koreans. No, she hates dubs. She doesn't like it when the mouths don't match.
See, I'm the same way.
I understand, but at the same time, like the dub though really wasn't that bad for Squid Game. It was decent. The voice actors that they got, like I'm fairly certain some of them were the actual actor.
Maybe,
but most of them they were pretty decent. You know.
Yeah, I'm with your wife on that one. With I can tolerate it with animation, but with live action, dubs are just
horrible. Squid Game did okay.
It's like watching the old Godzilla movies when they didn't release the Japanese versions and you had no choice.
Dude, do you like fucked up movies? Like not like crazy gory, but like fucked up like crazy I don't know, crazy ideas. All right, so there's this other movie called it's on Netflix and it's actually called The Platform. Have you ever heard of it?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so basically there's a unknown amount of floors, and there's an elevator with a platform that goes down to all these floors to the very bottom.
Okay.
They stack out that they put a table on top of this platform, and they literally fill it with food at the very top, and there are 2 prisoners on each floor.
Oh shit.
All the way down, and the platform has so much food at the top, and it's going down to the bottom, and by the time it gets to the bottom, most time there's no food left. So generally the people on the very bottom die.
Okay.
But the month goes by, and they put them to sleep, and then they move prisoners up and down this shit. It's like honestly, like it was in another language, and they dubbed it, but the dub wasn't that bad because honestly, I just looked at the eyes instead of the mouth. But seriously, the concept of the movie, crazy.
Yeah, I tend to like movies like that.
There's another one on Netflix called Circle. Have you seen that?
I haven't watched it, but I've heard of it.
I didn't like give it a chance for the long time. I was like, I don't want to watch that, and I finally was like, okay. I watched it. Holy shit.
Very good.
Holy shit. It's insane. Like, when you just think it can't get any worse, it gets worse.
Yeah.
And it's not, and it's kind of like a Squid Game type thing. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, not really, but there's no instructions. These people literally just go missing, and all of a sudden they just wake up in this circle, and they're standing on one square, and they can't leave that square or they'll die because they find out real quick, and people start to die really quickly.
Oh, shit.
And then they're just like, there's no instructions, there's nothing. They don't even know what it is, if it's game, and at the end, it's fucked up. I'll stop there. If you decide to watch it, watch it.
So I guess I want to do something fun for the end, but
sure.
So for I guess any final thoughts on the challenge?
Shorter episodes.
Concept is good, but yeah, get rid of the BS because it's bloated. It felt like the show didn't really know what it was trying to do, which is fair.
Tell your actors not to overperform.
Well, don't get actors. Get real people.
Get real people. If you're give them training because you have to.
No. If you're gonna do a competition, because these are basic games. These are children's games.
You're right. Yeah.
But get real people. But do away with the bullshit where you don't need actors.
We don't care about a relationship with people who aren't going to last more than one season.
Well, and here's the thing too: if you get,
I guess the winner could come back.
If it's a real game, then we can all make money too by betting on it. Now, you'd have to change the format so it won't work for Netflix because you can binge that shit. But if this were a weekly episodic program, you could absolutely bet on it.
I don't think Netflix has ever had a weekly.
No, they have.
I know Amazon does it.
Amazon and Hulu do it.
I'm just like, man, stop that shit. Just put it all out. I don't care about that
shit. I think it depends on the show.
If they're filming it and it's like a normal TV show series, I get it. It's hard, but like, a lot of people don't want to wait. That's the thing. Essentially, you're not having to wait well over a year to get a whole season of episodes. You're waiting 6 months to 8 months to get started on a new season, and then it takes that time.
Which, like, we're dealing with that with season 2 of Invincible. I just want the show. Give me the show.
Stephen Amell show, right?
No. That's that animated one I've been telling you. Stephen Yeun is and J.K. Simmons voice actors.
All right, I'm going to save that right now.
Yeah, it's very good. I just rewatched it, and it definitely holds up. And the new season is good thus far. I just want it now. I don't want to keep having to wait for.
And you say season 2 has not come out yet?
Not in its entirety.
Oh, okay.
They're releasing episodes.
It's been a while.
Yep.
Apparently that was the 4th episode.
It was.
Of the second season.
Yeah. God, J.K. Simmons is a fucking god in that show.
Dude, like Jake. Okay. Have I ever asked you if you've ever played a game called Portal?
I don't remember.
Okay, J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons voices someone in that game, Portal 2. Dude, oh my gosh, it's hilarious.
You'll love him as Omni-Man.
Well, there's one line. He's like, when life gives you lemons, you say screw that and burn their house down, or something like that. Like I'd have to.
Have you ever seen the movie Whiplash?
No.
It's worth it just for J.K. Simmons, but then Miles.
He's unintentionally funny.
He's not funny in this movie. No, it's very good, but you'll love him as Omni-Man in Invincible, and everybody does a good job. Like there's not a bad voice actor, and I can never remember the guy's name, but do you watch Big Mouth at all? No. Oh, you'd like it.
I know. I just have never got into those. Like it was actually really something to get me into Dragon Ball Z when I was younger. Like,
not a cartoon guy?
I love like South Park, and I love like Family Guy, and I've tried to watch like Bob's Burgers. I've tried to watch more Simpsons.
Bob's Burgers is not funny.
I've tried to watch. I do like Futurama, but
Futurama's great.
I can't watch it now as I'm old. I'm like, why can't I watch this? I can't sit still. That's my problem. my old age, I'm getting worse. So
It's probably all the crap they're putting in our food. That's
don't
one
eat that much anymore.
that is one thing that RFK Jr. does that concerns me. I'm like, he'll say something, and at first I'm dismissive, and I'm like, well, given his background, like, I mean, he would know. And the thing is, even if he's being a little bit hyperbolic, if 50% of what he's saying is true, it's infuriating.
Like what?
So he's laying out this, and I'm paraphrasing, and I might get a detail wrong, but like, so he's like, so when we were trying to look into this, because if you look, like, he said, basically he's pointing out the fact that, like, the baby boomer generation, I think he said infectious diseases affected like 6% of the baby boomer generation, and now it's up to 20 to 40% in some cases. And he said, now what caused that? Because it's not like, there has to be a factor. And he said he has an expert toxicologist that he's called as a expert witness in dozens of cases, and he said, hey, what could this possibly be? And he said he narrowed it down to about a dozen substances, because you start seeing that uptick happen in 1989.
Probably all a lot of linked to artificial dyes, sweeteners.
Well, one of them is high fructose corn syrup, and then there's another one.
Oh my gosh, like, I don't understand how people don't understand that's bad for you. Like, genetically modified corn, don't eat it.
Well, that's the problem, is you can't avoid it.
I know, and then on top of that, everybody's eating soy like it's going out of style, and I'm like, you realize the human body cannot break down soy properly.
That's not true. Yes,
properly.
It can. Yes, it can.
No, it cannot. It cannot break it down properly, so therefore it goes through your system and causes much havoc.
So anyway, but he said they narrowed it down to about 12 chemicals based upon that date and what it's doing. And he said, I just want them to look into, I just want to do some studies. That's all I want. He said, but they won't do the studies because they know what they'll find out. And
yeah, of course they're not going to do the studies.
Well, that's what he said. He said that's why he's running for president, because right now he can't do anything with those agencies, but the president controls those agencies.
Dude, we have no fucking president, or we don't even have anyone. And I'll even give Trump some fucking flack for this, because the thing is, nobody has said anything about our food except that man right there.
Yeah, and it's not. It's not.
Say it.
And it's not just our food either.
It's the food, the medicine, and we talked about.
And RFK's talking about both of those things: the food and the drugs. I know, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, I
just don't know if I can trust him. The dude was a Democrat, man.
But he's not anymore.
Yeah, but it's really easy to fucking do that and then pull the wool over our eyes. Like Biden was supposed to build back better. And
we all knew
he was full of shit.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, politicians lie.
Well, but he's basically saying the Democratic Party is I'm not directly quoting because I can't remember.
He's saying the Democratic Party's been taken over.
That's basically what he says. Yeah.
And that's why he left. Who's the other? Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard left. God, what a ticket that would be.
Oh, dude.
Kennedy Gabbard.
Sort of. I like Gabbard just because she's attractive, but her policies kind of suck. Not all of them.
You're never gonna get a perfect candidate.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if you check off at least 60 to 70% of my policy checklist, you got me.
What of her policies don't you like? Because I don't think I knew this.
I can't remember. I think one of them was abortion.
Yeah, but it
was like kind of like.
Is that practicality though?
It was way too. Yeah, absolutely for me.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, I mean, I didn't care about that stuff really that much until I had children.
No. I mean, on her end, is it more of like her being practical?
Kind of like what we're going through now with how the Republicans were talking on stage. Maybe, potentially, But the thing is, like, there was a few other things, like she wasn't saying anything about her border at that time. But I think now
she's acknowledged it, and RFK did the same thing, which that pissed a lot of Democrats off.
I mean, but the thing is, dude, you literally.
But here's the thing, and this is where I give credit where credit's due. So RFK at first was pretty silent on the border because he kept saying he was like, I don't know. Then he went down there and he was like, this is a fucking shit show. He was like, I'm sorry. He's like, talk to Border Patrol agents. Like they'll tell you. Like he's like, I fucking watched them. He's like, I watched people.
And on top of that, have you been hearing how many, not people from just strictly from Gaza, but in that general area, there's a lot of men coming from that area through the southern border.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I was watching this video and I saw not one Spanish-looking person.
Oh no, that's what he was saying. He said,
And I was like, that's alarming considering what's going on right now.
yeah. Well, he had said, RFK had said, he said the day I was there, he said the vast majority of the people weren't even Hispanic.
That might have been where I heard that.
Maybe that would make sense. So the fun part, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, sorry.
So, and this can actually be for the viewers, because I think once we have the championship belt, we should do kind of a Squid Games-esque. Dude, series, let's do it. We won't even call it Squid Game because we
have other podcasts within our network.
That's what I'm saying.
Keep this content going.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So what?
Post it on our channel though.
So what sort of games would we do in our theoretical Squid Game? I think dodgeball's a must.
Yes.
And kickball, Foursquare. I know you didn't play Foursquare.
You guys
but
just have to teach me, and I still.
Dude, it's super. It's super easy. And actually, you know what? You want to get kids like these are all games too that you could put in any elementary school gym class and they would kill. Foursquare is so much fun. Like I spent hours playing it when I was younger.
I'll look up how to play it after we get done because the thing is, I need to figure it out. It's been a long. I don't think I ever played it.
You're one kid shy of being able to play it with your family.
Well, you need 5 people.
You need 4.
Yeah, 4.
Oh, there's 4 of you. I'm stupid. I just can't count.
I was just like, you need 5 people? I thought it's Foursquare.
It is Foursquare.
I was like, you got a man out, huh?
No, dude, I'm telling you, we played. I learned how to play at the summer day camp that I went to for years when I was a kid, and we have a line of kids wanting to get in and play. And then once you get eliminated, you just go back in the line. Like
there's no basketball or anything. You're just in the squares and you just do stuff.
No, you need a ball of some kind, usually a kickball, like that sort of rubber ball. But
how does it work? You throw it back forth?
No, okay. So you have one big square that's divided into 4 quadrants. Now, one of those quadrants has a triangle in the corner. That basically just means that's the server. And you have one bounce, and you've got to bounce the ball into somebody else's square. And then they have to you can't catch it, but you can it's real lax. You don't have to slap it per se.
You have to keep it flowing.
You have to keep it flowing
times.
Into a different square.
Okay.
And when somebody misses or it bounces more than once in their square, then they get eliminated.
Are they fairly large squares?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they're not huge. They're enough for usually with kids they're a little bit smaller.
So
but
kind of not like tennis.
Yeah, not like tennis. No.
They hit it far and you got to run.
I guess in that you shouldn't have to take more than half a step.
I mean, I don't mind, but
yeah.
I was saying, I didn't know how it would work. Yeah, dude. We can come up with a whole list of games.
But here's the thing: you don't have to bounce it into their square, so it's not like you can throw it at them too.
So bouncing in the square. So
there's trick shots you can do.
If you bounce it in the square and they don't catch it, that person's out.
Correct. Yeah.
For the game, does somebody replace them?
So yes. So
you have people in a line and you replace like that?
Yeah.
So
and then the last position, so you work up to being the server now. So here's the thing. It's a risk. So if I throw it at you and you just dodge out of the way, then I'm out. Cuz I either have to bounce it into your square once or hit you. I can't hit your leg with it. And I'm going off of memory here. I'm sure there's various ways to play it. But you do trick shots. You can put spin on it to where it'll bounce, but then it'll come back the other way. And we'd always try to go for the corners, but you have to be careful because if you hit outside, then you're out.
Right.
So you have to. There's some skill there.
Okay. I'm
so itchy. But yeah, so if there's 4 people playing, then you just rotate. Server goes back to the first square, and then yada yada yada. But yada yada. It's fun. So what other games could we play? You could always do rock, paper, scissors too. It's kind of a cop out, but I mean it's.
We could just get a bunch of us idiots together and film. Get a nighttime camera and play cat's eye. The content from the audio alone would probably be enough to make people laugh very hard.
You could play
because that shit is. I'm sorry, that shit is hilarious.
Dude, do you remember the one time we played kick the can at my house?
No, I don't even remember that game.
So it's basically hide and seek, but.
Oh yeah.
But so here's the thing: when you get caught by whoever's it, you get put in jail. But then there's a can set out, and all somebody else has to do is kick the can, and then everybody who's in jail gets out. It's virtually impossible to win.
Oh yeah, I remember that. But we didn't play it very often.
We only
played the jail.
We only played it once because it takes a long time.
Yeah.
It's virtually impossible to win.
It's fun though.
Well, because you can sit there and guard the can, but then you can't go find the people that are.
I remember.
It's not hide and seek; it's tag.
Well, I was gonna say what slips. That's what
which
we
is
call
just
it.
hide and seek
Hide
at
and
night.
seek at night. And dude, when we used to play that, like I remember.
Now we added a
being
tag.
one of the fastest kids.
I was gonna say we added a tag element to ours, where not only did you have to be found, you had to be tagged as well.
Oh yeah, because the thing is, like literally, like some of us were faster than.
Yeah, that's essentially what our version of kick the can was, which we played at night, which is probably the problem.
That shit was so fun though.
It was, oh dude, hours.
Tripping on stuff and getting hurt.
Woo! What else is there? I guess you could do lawn darts. You could do
No, dude, we do the dangerous version.
Yeah.
Okay, run! You have no idea. You're just
Dude,
looking up,
I
you're not gonna die.
can't believe those things were sold. And then there's always oh geez, I'm blanking on the name. The fucking cornhole.
Cornhole. Nah, cornhole's not really that fun to watch. It's more fun to play. Kind of boring to watch.
That's true.
I would definitely suggest games that are fun to watch. So
yeah.
definitely dodgeball.
Dodgeball's up there.
Definitely, probably, maybe kickball.
I just feel like that would take a while.
Yeah.
Dodgeball's fast.
Dodgeball's fast. So dodgeball. What was the other ones that we were?
Foursquare. Foursquare can be. Foursquare is really fun to play, but it's reasonably fun to watch too.
Just whatever game. Honestly, hey, you guys out there, give us some ideas.
And give us weird ones, because there are some odd. Like Foursquare seems to be a very regional thing.
You know what? All right. So for our little video project to happen, we need your ideas. We need to know what games would be good Squid Game games.
And maybe we can learn how to actually play Squid Game.
Yeah.
It seems really odd.
I just can't remember it.
It's like somebody's on the outside, but they have to like fight their way through to get into the little circle, but I
don't remember.
Well, I remember, but I never understood how the game was played in the first place.
I'm gonna rewatch the last episode, the last game tonight, so I want to know. That's like bugging me.
I was wondering how if they were gonna play Squid Game at the end of the challenge. I didn't either, because they're all old. And like, not gonna lie, it's a game designed for children, which a kid shoving another kid over doesn't really mess them up that much. But could you imagine like a 50-year-old getting shoved over by a 30-year-old? Mama!
The thing is, we have this misconception that 50-year-olds are fragile.
Well, unfortunately, a lot of them are, but
yeah, because of lifestyle.
But a lot of 30-year-olds are fragile too, as we saw in Squid Game: The Challenge.
Yeah, that's true. All right, let's wrap her up.
Are you sure it's over?
I couldn't handle that shit, dude. That fake like dry heaving. I was like,
I think one of the guys was like, "Quit being a bitch." Like,
I would have been. I would have been like, "What's wrong with you?"
You know what? I would have been like, "Fine, you're done. Just give up.
Quit, pussy.
Quit." And
then maybe that might spark some testosterone in his body, and he
somehow
might be like, "Fuck you."
Somehow I doubt it.
Some guy said that to me the other day.
Yeah, why do you have to be so mean?
I was walking into Walmart the other day, and I had my cart, and I was getting ready to do a Walmart Spark order. I was gonna, shop for somebody. They paid me to. Anyway, so I'm literally walking in, and this guy is like, I'm walking straight, and this guy's like weaving in and out of people, and I literally with my cart have to stop because of him, and I was like, okay, and he just goes, fuck you, and I just turned around immediately. I was like, go fuck yourself, you'll get more pussy. And the guy just like, oh, you won't go? And I said, yeah, go ahead, hit me.
In the grocery
Walmart.
store.
And I was just, he literally said, he's like, go ahead. Well, and I was like, yeah, go ahead and hit me. I said, I give you permission. Go ahead.
Go for it. I could use your house.
Because then when you hit me, I get to fight back, and you're not gonna like that.
It's not even that. Be a moron.
I could
use.
I'll own everything you have.
I could use a second home. because you decided to be a fucking moron in the grocery store.
That's true. See, me, like, this guy jumps to the smarts, and me, I jump to violence first, and then I get smart.
Oh, no, there's a time and place where fighting back would be appropriate, but, like...
That wasn't one of them.
Well, what's it going to gain you? Because you were going to win. But
I think he was just so hurt because I said that.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, I think what you did was appropriate because a lot of these people just... You can tell there's a lot of people that have never been punched in the face. And it shows. Because, not sorry to say, the first time you get punched in the face, you're like, oh, this isn't fun.
That's what that is. I don't want to do that again. That's not very fun.
Well, it's funny because it's simultaneously... I guess it depends on the person, but for me, it was simultaneous. Like, oh, that wasn't as horrible as I thought it was going to be, but it's still not fun.
You take a hit really well.
I'd rather not. You're not the first person to say that to me, and I'm like, I don't like it, but that's what it was. It was like, that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it's still not fun, so I'd rather not do that again.
You still ended up with a shiner, though, didn't you?
Oh, dude, you got me good.
That was so dumb.
Yeah, it was, but...
Ever since then, like, literally, even though if I get mad, I was like, why did I do that? And I was like, I refuse to put my hands on people anymore.
Well, to be fair, it's because I did. And I wasn't
aiming. No. You were in all defense. Don't even fucking
No. I wasn't aiming for your nuts, though.
I know, but regardless, you were in all defense. I started every bit of it. And it was, like, I've told other people the story, and I was like, I started it. And then I got mad when he retaliated. Because it was a damn good hook kick, and it was right in the dick.
It was, I wasn't aiming for the dick, but I found it.
And for some reason, I was even in a good mood that day. If anyone wants to know what bipolar really is...
You got kicked in the dick.
It's my favorite organ. Just mine, though.
Only mine.
It's 2023, I should reiterate that. I'm just saying. All right, man.
Oh, fuck.
Get us out of here. We're starting to talk about dicks. What kind of foods are shaped like dicks? The best kinds.
So, do you blow the mouth organ? How do you think I got this job? Well, thank you for at least attempting to enjoy another episode of the Average Intelligence Podcast. I kind of figured this one would go awry.
It was okay. It was still productive.
Which, actually, I apologize to our viewers. We missed 2 debates. But I'll be honest...
Boring.
Yeah, well, and I'm
missing a whole lot. It's just Vivek beating down these people,
which we've seen. I'm halfway through that debate, and honestly, I'm bored.
The fourth one?
Yeah, I'm bored.
I got about halfway through, and I shut it off. Vivek was just like tearing these people down, and he was literally calling out the establishment and whatnot. And I was like, man, you're doing really good, but I was like, you're part of the establishment.
But we predicted this.
So it's Trump though, so.
Yeah, we predicted this though. I mean, it's all happening as we've said. It's like, yeah, everybody's nice in the beginning, and then when it starts getting closer to crunch time, you'll start seeing the teeth come out. And at least, again, I will say to RFK, the only person I've really seen RFK hardcore attack is Biden. Even though he's theoretically running against Biden. I would just like to see RFK be in the main debate along with the Democrat, which would be Biden, and the Republican nominee. Because honestly, I think if he can get on the debate, which is why they're not going to let him do it. It's a lost cause, because they know.
Well, for one, he's independent.
That's what I'm saying.
There's too many straight ticket voters out there.
Well, no, because Ross Perot, I mean, he at least was in the debate, but it was Ross Perot where they learned their lesson, because they were like, oh yeah, we'll let him in and we'll look nice, and then he arguably is the reason H.W. Bush lost that election, because they took enough votes away from him and Clinton won. So they're never going to let that happen again. They're never going to let that happen. Now, what RFK is doing that's really smart is...
You're saying one of our best time periods...
We had a third party.
Because it was an accident.
It wasn't an accident. It was because the election was what all of our elections should be. More than one fucking choice.
No, and that's what I'm saying, though. Like, people can hate on Bill Clinton all they want. Like, I can't say anything about his wife. But, like, him and his presidency, man, like, that was a crazy progression. Like, we did so well. Like, wasn't that one of the first times we were actually in a positive?
When he left office, yes.
Yeah, and now what are we sitting at? 23 trillion, 22 trillion?
Well, there's...
Right, that's time to end it. That's starting to piss me off.
Damn it. How could you marry that bitch?
Fucking fucking.
How do I know what movie you're referencing just by your delivery? Don't you do another one on me.
Don't you fucking dare.
Don't you fucking dare.
Man. You know you fucking crazy.
Steve, I'm going to suck you off, Steve Madden.
Steve Madden? Steve fucking Madden!
Steve Madden.
Dude. You know what? Like, I don't know why it took me till, like, over 35 to actually start experimenting. I would take a lewd now.
Wow, I thought you were going
just
a different...
to see what it would be like.
I thought you were going to start talking about mouth organs.
Gosh. Thank you for enjoying the... You know, I was kidding.
I'm going to go blow something now. Is it a mouth organ?
No. I'm about to go blow the toilet up. That chili was so...
Your mouth organ's excited.
Why'd you do that to me? Oh, that was dirty. Who's that? What are we talking about?
Oh, well, fuck. Now we got to stay.
Who's Laughing Jack?
You're new, are you not? We were talking about Squid Game, specifically Squid Game the Challenge. Oh, fuck, now we got to stay.
We'll hang out for a minute. So what's we were talking about Squid Game.
What's so funny, Jack?
Not really sure what is it?
What?
I don't know.
And then he was talking about blowing mouth organs.
My gummy kicked in hardcore. We'll let you talk. I'm gonna go pee.
I wonder if we know this person.
I feel like he was in the comments.
Possibly.
I remember seeing the name.
Oh, shit. Now I don't know what to do. Just sitting in the sound of silence.
My balls! True international effort to pressure.
Okay, well, I'll lead us out, and if Laughing Jack responds, I'll thank you for enjoying this episode of the Average Intelligence Podcast. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. Help us get that watch time up so we can do more of these ambitious projects that we talked about in this very episode. And as per usual, if you prefer to listen to the podcast rather than watch it, you can check us out on virtually all audio podcast platforms, including but not limited to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, Podcast Addict, iHeartRadio. There's so many. We're probably on it if they have podcasts. Yeah, like I said, please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to check out the Goosebumps Crew podcast, especially their latest episode where they talked to Tim Jacobus, the original the original artist who did the bulk of the original Goosebumps covers. And we will see you guys next week.